Hello and welcome to another episode of Hard Truths. Today we have the man from Kentucky to spread the truth and the word of Kentucky.
So evangelion. Evangelion.
So the word of God, as long as it's the state-sponsored religion, which if I'm not mistaken, the closest thing that we would have would be Christianity. So the word of God is definitely something that we should all take into account.
And if you do, especially preach it as much to the point where you can become rich, you deserve every penny.
Yes, especially if you have your own TV show, and especially if you preach to a large audience and grab their heads and shake them a little bit and then push them back and heal them of all their ailments.
Televangelion. I personally think anybody who preaches the word of God to that extent deserves 6 houses, and anything less be a mistake for that person's well-being.
Obviously, I mean, you know, are these televangelinos or whatever they're called? Do they really not deserve a nice big beautiful house in the Hamptons with a couple of Ferraris? You know what Kanye said?
Yeah.
She want to hop in the Rari. I said, Are you ready to die? Are you ready to preach the Lord?
Kanye's actually the greatest evangelios of all time.
Yo, Kanye preaches the Lord's work all the time. I mean, just listen to everything he says. It sounds just like a Catholic priest. You know what else about preachers and you know what else about priests is they are never, ever, ever, ever pedos.
That's a well-known fact.
No, of course not. It never happens. Why even bring it up?
Dude, we wouldn't even have 4-leaf clovers if it wasn't for these guys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man, the Irish wouldn't exist.
If it weren't for priests and God.
Yeah, they'd all be dead.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. If it weren't for Catholicism, the Irish would be all dead.
That's so true, bro.
Yeah, if it weren't for Catholicism, the Irish would not be, in the peaceful state that they're currently living in society. There would never be any, there would always be tensions with people in Catholicism if the Irish never had that. So, you know what? You're absolutely right. The Irish need the Catholics.
I know. Not a lot of people even realize that. And anytime they sell out a super church, about 99% of the people in that building are going to be Irish.
There was that fake letter that, that got released today from Bill Clinton to Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, obviously, these two guys have never met and have never done anything of note together. I mean, maybe they were friends. I mean, that's what the letter was about, was them being friends.
How could a guy that's never cheated on his wife do such a thing?
How could a guy that's never publicly cheated on his wife do such a thing?
Yeah, man. He's never done it. No.
The dude never has lied in his life. Like, do we really expect him to not be like, what, however the fuck he talks?
I never cheated on you.
I never cheated on you. All these things, we'd like to think that, that all these guys are actually just crooked as a crooked as a screw, or I don't know.
I've never seen a politician lie. I don't think they do it.
Dude, I don't even think they're capable of it.
No, they can't. They have shot collars underneath their suits, and then if they do lie, they get punished, bro. So why would they ever end in the first place?
Of course. And if they did lie too, like, don't you think we'd be able to see through those lies easily? Don't you think that we wouldn't, as a public, we wouldn't be fooled by their lies constantly? Think that they're doing the right thing when clearly they're not. I mean, it's obvious. We would be able to catch on to it real quick, and that never happens.
They're really cool, man. That's why people are trying to.
Hey, Reagan was the best. Reagan is top notch for politicians, dude. Trickle down economics, dude. The rich get a bunch of money, and then it trickles down to the poor. Obviously, that works. Why wouldn't it?
It's like rainwater.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a rain coming off of a really lavish mansion and dripping down into a poor person's mouth.
It's like the rich people are like the god that makes it rain, and that like we get to enjoy that rain as it trickles down to us.
Well, they do make it rain. Well, actually, no, they don't. They can't possibly make it rain because there's no such thing as weather machines or any kind of cloud seeding or anything like that. So they can't change the weather. All right. Ronald Reagan,
A master and pagan.
one of the greatest actors to ever have lived, one of the greatest governors to have ever lived.
My dad.
His dad is Ronald Reagan. A hard truth.
It's proof that all presidents should be actors.
It is. It's proof that all presidents should be in the public eye completely before they're president.
A president needs to at least be in 10 movies before he's even considered to be elected as president.
Oh, 100%. If he only has like 5 movies under his belt before he's president, then like why are we even electing him president at that point? Like he's not well known enough. He's not for the people. If you make movies, you're for the people.
And I think if you at least do one movie where you show full frontal, you should just be elected immediately. There's no voting process.
That's how George Bush got in.
That is how George Bush got in. Just look at the name. Obviously.
Yep.
That's why Herbert Walker Bush was president too. Same deal.
George Bush is the reason why people started wearing pubic wigs.
That I thought that was Trump, so that's good to know it actually went back further.
Yeah, I mean, Trump was the first one to wear a pubic wig on his head.
He popularized it.
Yeah, innovator, real go-getter.
What do they call those pubic wigs too? There's like a word for it.
You ready? A merkin.
A merkin.
I love that word.
That is a good word. That's a hard truth, and you know what? That's a fact that is what those are called. So we only tell facts here, clearly. I mean, everybody knows that. We're telling hard truths here. You can't even take how hard these truths are. He can't handle the truth.
You got your finger on the pulse.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yep. And I bought it from CVS.
One could say that you already gave the dude Narcan and you're trying to pump him full of life. And that's what this podcast is.
That's true.
Just some doped up, nonsensical person that's seeping and
you're the guy who has the Fent and the Narcan.
Exactly. And you get to choose how he dies or how he lives.
Shit, bro.
That's a hard truth right there. What do you think about Ronald Reagan too? Like besides just
Ronald Reagan 2.
Oh, the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan too.
Ronald Reagan, the sequel, dude. Hell yeah.
Why do you think he you were discussing with me earlier before the show about how he might have been elected for more than just his celebrity status. I mean, it's a part of his celebrityness, but what was he?
So it kind of goes back to when we had those singing raisins, man. What the fuck were those things called? The California raisins. And the whole nation was tricked into thinking that raisins were sentient, and they did that. That was real, and we would kill them and eat them. Ronald Reagan was an avid advocate at the time because he believed it actually did become true. Raisins did start dancing and singing. That's why those commercials were so realistic.
They just shot him on location.
Yeah, man. So actually, one of those raisins was Ronald Reagan, and before his name was Reagan, his real name, his government name is actually Ronald Raisin.
I thought it was Ronald Ray-Ban.
It was, and then before that, he was Ronald.
How do you feel about like soda companies and like different things like that? Like, have you tried the new Mountain Dew?
If I don't have at least 12 Mountain Dews a day, my liver starts to fail.
Yeah.
I used to be addicted to water until I started drinking excessive amounts of Mountain Dew. It's kind of saved me.
It's kind of saved.
Yeah, you can actually drown from drinking too much water.
Dude, like around the time before my grandfather, right before he passed, man, I started feeding him Mountain Dew and he snapped out of his dementia for a good 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
It had to be Code Red.
Wait, it was Code Red? I was going to ask, was it cane sugar or was it processed sugar?
You got to have the processed
It was
sugar.
processed
It's got to
sugar.
be processed.
Of
and
course.
Actually, if you crack that bitch open and add a couple more packets of sugar, it enhances the effects.
But again, it has to be processed sugar.
Yeah, bro. You got to be using that shit that they test on the rats.
I've heard that makes sense. We talked previously about how we should only take lab-made foods. I mean, lab-made foods are the things that we should always go for because it's made in a lab for you, the consumer.
Like scientists, like, why would I not trust a scientist? A scientist, all this effort and like know-how into making something. I think they know better than anybody how it's done, how it should be, how it should taste.
If my food is not made in a factory, packaged up in BPA plastic, and then boxed up in wonky cardboard, I won't eat it, bro.
Yeah, 100%. If my shit is not good for like 2, 3, 5 years, still sealed up in a can, what's it good for? Like, what if the world ends tomorrow and then I have to survive off of like processed food? Because that's what we would have. Obviously, we need food to survive to like 10, 15, 20 years. Like, what if the nuclear fallout gets us? We're going to have to, we're going to have to survive off all
Dude,
these.
and the only way to really get to that point, to push your body to be able to survive the end of the world, is making sure that you eat enough processed food so that your poop always comes out completely liquid.
Black liquid.
With a little bit of blood. It's got to be a little bit of blood in there, too.
Well, naturally, it's the end of the world. There's going to be a little bit of blood in there no matter what.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. And you know what? You should all prepare for the end of the world by starting to only eat processed foods that have a 10 to 15 year shelf life. Starting right now. You should get prepared because it's going to happen. So get prepared and do it. Start eating only processed foods from here on out. Never touch a vegetable unless that vegetable has a shelf life of 10 years.
And then once you get to that optimal state, bro, you can step it up a notch and you can start fermenting your own urine and drinking it. You can take steak, ground beef, pork, throw it in jars, let that ferment for months till it's got maggots and it smells incredibly bad. And you just plow that into your system until you feel the best you've ever felt in your life.
And then you just down a bunch of B vitamins to get through the pain that your body is processing. And remember, no pain, no gain. So if you don't feel any pain while you're eating all these processed foods, it means it's not working.
Well, and I mean, once the pain's there, eventually you'll get used to it, dude.
Well, exactly. It'll just be a seething, sharp pain. And eventually you'll just have to go to the doctor. But don't trust everything he says, because remember, those bozos just went to school for 8 years. Who knows if they know what they're talking about?
Dude, doctors, that's just the biggest hooks in the world, man.
You should listen to your doctor, but, never 100%, because, like, he'll be telling you things that you don't agree with. And if you don't agree with him, then you shouldn't listen to him, because you shouldn't listen to people you don't agree with.
We all know which kind of doctors you can trust and which you can't.
What kind of doctors
I only
are
go
those?
to doctors that operate strictly out of their apartment building. They got to have a studio apartment, a toilet they've never cleaned. And how you really know you got a good doctor is when you go to use their bathroom and they've never cleaned their toilet. That's how you know you got a great one.
That's the real underground doctor. The one that you should be seeing is that guy. He has pills just thrown out about everywhere because he doesn't need a prescription. You don't need a prescription with him. He'll get you what you need.
My doctor, he leads me into this murky room. It smells like a basement. There's no furniture, stains on the walls, and the only thing in there is a massage table in the middle of the room. He's the best.
Oh wow.
He insists on always being barefoot. I think that's pretty cool too. He's not shy about it.
Wouldn't you want him to be as calm as possible so he can have like the best mindset while he's like lancing your cyst out of your butt?
Yeah. I mean, by the time, usually if he's doing something like that, he's got to get everything off but his shirt.
How does he do with the sanitization of his products?
He just rips the toilet paper. He just brings the toilet paper in from the bathroom, wipes everything down. I'm good to go. Like he just puts some hot breath on it once in a while, wipes it up with the toilet paper, and sticks the toilet paper back. He spits in his hand a little bit, rubs it together.
And he's ready to go to work.
It's a good man right there, dude. He even takes his earrings out.
That right there is the doctor that you should be trusting 100% of the time, because your life is in his hands. So if you ever do find yourself in a scenario where that is your doctor, you have to put 100% of your life in his hands. So I guess trust
share a
him.
sixer before we get started with anything. Hit it. We share a sixer. He hits the Benjamin. Then we get to work, dude.
Does he have you hit the blunt while he has you breathe in and out and listens with a
Well,
stethoscope?
usually if it's serious work, he insists on ripping the filter off of a cigarette. And I have to at least pound down half of it within 20 seconds, or else we can't get started.
This right here is a hard truth about the kind of doctor that you should be seeing.
If
Remember
he doesn't
that.
smell like BO, it's not the guy. You need to find a new doctor.
Especially if he doesn't smell like BO. That's like the number one first thing that you'd figure out about this guy. If you met this guy, is you'd figure that out instantly.
Well, first thing you do is you look at the phone book and you read their names, and then you pick a name.
It'll be pretty easy to find a doctor within this weird dystopian, like, perfect life future, because like most people are going to be able to just get doctor's licenses online, and within most of the rural cities, most of the apartment complexes, it's 90% of them have their doctor's license. So I mean, it's just yeah, like you said, man, just pick and go. You don't even need to call half the time. You just show up. My guy sometimes will lay 3 of us down. He's only got the one massage table, so sometimes I got to lay on the floor. But it's, he takes turns working on us all at the same time. It's pretty legit.
Actually, sounds really nice.
It does. So Jeffrey Epstein was a future doctor, basically.
Jeffrey Epstein actually specialized in kids.
He was a pediatrician.
Yeah, dude, he was really good with kids, man.
He was just an advanced doctor. He wanted to make a baby making farm. Don't you think a guy who wants to make a baby making farm has has all of his shit together?
He, it was in the works that he was going to create the world's first actual Super Saiyan.
It sounds like what you hear about Epstein in the mainstream media isn't, what you should be listening. Like, it sounds like you can't take that at face value.
No, man. Ever since he died, the world's really gone to shit.
Remember before Epstein was talked about, when the world was a lot nicer and we had no worries? We all got to go back to that time when nobody mentioned Epstein whatsoever for any reason.
No, but you have to go back in time past a long time ago, years ago, when they were talking about Epstein, back when it was relevant. You go further back than that when they weren't talking about him again.
Have you guys noticed that there's been like no kids around since Epstein died?
That's just because people are becoming unfertile or infertile, whatever the word is.
Why is that?
It's probably because they're eating too many vegetables and not eating enough processed food. They're not smoking enough cigarettes. They're not vaping enough. They're not eating all these chemicals and alkaloids that improve the body and keep the body going. They're just they're eating all these vegetables and fruits, and they're doing all these things that make the body just go, ugh, this again.
Dude, back when people used to go on like 2, 3, sometimes a couple month long benders, we were pumping them out, bro. We had kids left and right.
We had entirely different families at one point. Like at one point we could even, the typical dad could support an entire family, but also support a secret family that he had on the side.
Yeah, like, this is American way.
That's true.
The
American way.
That's all America's about. White picket fence and then secret family in an apartment somewhere. That's it.
Don't act like you're any different.
You all believe it to be true, and you all know it to be true, so look deep inside of you.
Like some Gene Wilder shit.
Whoa, bringing out my inner Willy Wonka, because that's a hard truth. Speaking of Willy Wonka, wasn't Epstein just like Willy Wonka?
He was. With kids.
He was. He was more like that Willy Wonka in the Epic movie, but he was like Willy Wonka.
Oh my God, he's not even Johnny Depp. Willy Wonka was framed. He didn't even know those kids were coming.
Willy Wonka has plausible deniability. He didn't put those golden tickets in those bars.
It was all Grandpa Joe, dude.
It was all Grandpa Joe. We're gonna just blame the
piece of shit Grandpa Joe.
No, what's that guy's name?
Dirty.
What's that real scummy guy that was working with him in that movie?
Slugworth. Mr. Slugworth.
Slugworth, yeah. Yeah.
How do you guys know so much about this movie? I don't know shit about this movie.
I love this movie. You want to hear my favorite quote?
Yeah.
You stole fizzy lifting drinks. You bumped into the ceiling, which now has to be washed and sterilized, so you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And that's Willy Wonka's part. And then Grandpa Joe goes,
You're a crook. You're a swindler. How could you do this to a little boy? Build up his hopes and then smash him to pieces. You're an inhuman monster.
And then Willy Wonka goes, "Good day, sir," screams in his face. Great, bro.
You know what? That's what we need more of too. We need more of that fire from the Willy Wonka characters. We need more of our CEOs and our industry titans to say good day to you to the small guy and tell them that they are insignificant.
That's why we needed Epstein.
That is why we needed Epstein to wrangle in all those guys and give them all money and help them evade taxes, apparently.
And if it wasn't for Ronald Reagan, then we wouldn't have ever got an Epstein in the first place. So hats off.
Oh, it goes back, man. It goes
Ancient
back.
Egyptian technology was actually that of like hillbilly status. That shit was like white trash.
I've heard that.
Hey man, this is in honor of Hulk Hogan's death.
How are we going to honor Hulk Hogan's death?
We could prevent a major like company from being unionized. Let's do that.
All right.
He loved that.
He loved that. Why? Was that his thing?
So WWE was trying to unionize. Jesse Ventura was actually the one trying to unionize because there was people that were getting paid outrageous amounts more money for doing essentially the same thing, and it was crazy unfair, dude. No one had coverage. No one had. You had some of these people getting paid, hundreds of thousands per match, and then you had some people that were just like up and comings and like filling seats and everything, getting paid like few hundreds a match or some shit. It was insanely unfair. On top of the fact that all these people were busting their bodies up, getting fucked up, dude, ending up with like lifetime altering injuries, and they had no coverage, no health coverage on anything. Yet they're like part of this like huge company that's making tons of fucking money. It is just fucked up. And Hulk Hogan, I forget what he exactly did, but I know he didn't agree with that. He didn't want anybody. He was one of the highest paid at the time, and didn't want anybody to be making the same amount of him or like even close to it. So yeah, he fucking sabotaged it all. He fucked it all up. Honestly, it kind of screwed a lot of things up for a while. It almost ruined the WWE. A lot of people left. Like, it was fucked up. Hulk Hogan got booed in the ring on his last match.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Hard truth.
I think it's fair to say that the hard truth is